Hey you guys. So today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial, chit chat style. Some things went wrong in this video. It's a new setup, lots going on. I took like a month off because there was just, girl. My oldest graduated high school, so the end of the school year was just bananas. I needed to deal with that. It is done and over. I'm ready to get back to filming, but I am doing a new setup, so I have no idea how all of this is reading on camera. In person, it's not that bad, but on camera, it could be a big old mess. I don't know. Some of the stuff we're using today is new to me. Some of it is older things that you've probably owned and maybe want to find new ways to use. But all in all, this is not a super heavy consumer driven type of video. I really wanted to focus a little more on the techniques and trying new things and working with what we have. So I want you to go through your stash, figure out what you got, sit down with me, and let's do this kind of colorful, kind of neutral, smoky moment. Let's do that. I'm gonna have a naked face in 3, 2, 1. Can I just say this? I tanned a couple days ago just purely out of habit. Ever since I took, all that time off of YouTube, and especially when I was pregnant, I stopped wearing fake tanner almost ever. And then immediately when I feel the need to get on camera, there is something in my brain that thinks I need to put fake tan on, and I think I'm done. Like might be the last time I ever tan. I thought I'd bring it back for summer because, hot weather, sundresses, tan. But it always makes me look so much older and dull and just, I don't know, I think I'm done with it. Like, that's just an aside, nothing to do with this makeup look, but looking in the viewfinder, my neck looks like it's aged like 40 years because I put fake tan on. It's the weirdest. Do any of you ladies who are around my age, or I don't know, any age, notice that fake tan makes your body skin, particularly your neck and your chest, just look decrepit? It's not the vibe, not the move. Anyway, 99% sure I have absolutely used this foundation on camera already, but we're going to use it again today because I was playing around with makeup yesterday and it looked okay, but also really heavy. And I don't know why I do that. For some reason, when I don't do full glam for a few weeks, when I finally sit down to do it, I have just been going hamburgers and it looks terrible. It's like cakey and heavy and not at all what I want it to look like. So, so today we're gonna try and see if I can chill the F out and just make it look a little better. I'm gonna mix the Dior Backstage in 3 in with 0 in. I always have 2 shades of everything for this exact self-tanner reason. Although if I quit self-tanning, as I intend to do, I'm really gonna waste all these darker shades. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. So I kind of just apply them like that on the back of my hand. Mix them together like that. I'm gonna take the BK Beauty and Nikki La Rose in 17 brush. I'm gonna start with the synthetic side and just press this into the skin. It's like the main thing I love about this brush, outside of the fact that everything about the BK Beauty brushes and Nikki's collection, Angie's collection, the standard everyday run-of-the-mill collection, they're all so well thought out. But this foundation brush in particular, I don't know. It does a little something. We're doing makeup in a very different order today. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that for the longest, doing my brows first was super crucial to me. I just could not. But for some reason, when I do my brows first, as of late, I never get it right. It looks too dark, or the shape comes out wrong, or I do the brows first, so I spend way too much time on them, and it takes me way longer to do. I don't know what it is, but something about doing them, not dead last, because I still need to do them before I do my eyeshadow. Otherwise, I feel like the shape I create with my eyeshadow will be kind of off. Switching this up, I can't explain it. It has changed. It's changed my life. I still owe you guys a full video about my laser treatment I had done. I had it done a couple months ago. It takes about 6 months to see the full benefit, so I did want to wait a little while just so I could really show you guys the benefits and the difference. I absolutely love the treatment. I totally want to get it again. And I feel like my skin, just from the time that I came back to YouTube to now, is in a completely different place. I still have some of the same issues I've always had that I don't think that laser is designed to help with, like redness, ruddiness. It's better for brown hyperpigmentation. I tend to get a lot of red hyperpigmentation, so I definitely am considering doing something like a V-beam in the fall to kind of help with redness. But in terms of the actual quality of my skin, I feel like it's literally 1,000 times better. There's no two ways about it. So I don't know if you can tell, because I can definitely tell, you still can see a little bit of the discoloration and things through the sheer, this sheer for me, foundation application. And because I went so sheer on foundation, I am going to do a little bit by way of concealer and use the Big Daddy. This is the most full coverage concealer I can get away with. You just can't touch Huda. When it comes, whatever she nails it. And I definitely went through a period where I was kind of like, ugh, it was almost like too much for me at one point. I'm thinking specifically 2018, 2019, when we were so inundated with like tons of heavy makeup looks and heavy makeup products. She just felt like a drop in the ocean of tons of brands doing the same thing. So she kind of got lost to me. But once I came back to doing makeup more often and you know, redoing my whole collection, I kept adding her stuff to cart, and everything is just incredible. And her concealers are absolutely no exception to that. So I have Cookie Dough and Royal Icing. Like I said, I've always got 2 shades of everything, and I tend to mix. So I'm going to start with the darker one and focus it a little more right here, kind of on the inner corner. Pop a little bit right here on the outer corner of my eye. I find this incredibly important to do now. Like, get it right hugged up on the outer corner, because it does kind of lift the eye, but it literally erases, in a way, the kind of hollowness I'm starting to get. But something about adding concealer like right here on me especially, it does help a good bit with this sort of hollowness that I'm getting right here as I'm getting older. I definitely need Botox also. I thought about waiting until I got Botox to come back, but screw it. It's probably gonna end up way too light. I'm gonna take the Nikki LaRose and BK Beauty N16 brush, and I'm just gonna start kind of pressing this exactly where I want it to go. About rolled my eyes back in the head, girl. Get that concealer up there. I'm going to take my Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick in the shade Medium. I need to order a few more shades of like my bronzing and contouring products, because as I said, the tan skin's going away and everything's about to be really fair, and a lot of my bronzing and contouring things are for when I'm tan. I have a few exceptions, but most of them are for the tan girl. This is one of the Morphe and Ariel brushes. I cannot read for the life of me what number it is. I'm just gonna apply that on my brush, touch the back of my hand with it just to get off any excess, and I'm gonna start applying this in all the areas that I need some sculpting, some bronzing, some color. There is something so difficult about getting back into filming on camera, because I have such a tendency to put my mirror like this when I'm doing my makeup. It's like really hard to remember. Back it up a little bit, girl. Let them see what you're doing. I'm gonna take the same contour stick and this brush, which is a dual end. I've had this thing for like, golly, maybe like 9-10 years. I've had it such a long time, but I'm just gonna go ahead and contour my nose. I have become such a nose contour girly. I wasn't, sorry, like almost to the point where if I can't do anything else, if I'm just doing like a sweet beat on my face, just skin, maybe a brow, I will still contour my nose. I don't know what changed. I used to could. At one point I could kind of take it or leave it to varying degrees of success, but now it's like I just feel like the center of my face looks so flat or you know, empty. I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna add a bit of the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in the shade Medium. Like I said, I need to order fair. To be honest, this is like almost a little too dark for me even when I am tan. It's just not, it's not quite right for me, but I make it work somehow. I just want to warm up my complexion a little bit more, because on camera it looks like I'm very ashy in the center of my face, but in person it actually looks quite nice. So I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it looks so white just right here, and it's really not in person. That's so weird. I am still kind of testing out this new setup, so hopefully we get this under control at some point. I'm going to take a little bit of the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. This is newer to me. I just haven't figured out how to make this work the way that I want it to. I thought this was gonna be a little bit of an elevated Charlotte Tilbury flawless filter moment, but it's a little bit drier, I feel, and sometimes you can apply a glowy product, and because of the luminosity of the product and the formula, which tends to be more hydrating, that's where you get all that glow from. This is all luminosity, no hydration. I don't want to completely give up on it yet, so I'm going to try a trick that Nikki La Rose was talking about in one of her videos. I think it was her bridal video, where she applied it betwixt her concealer and her contour to kind of blend them together and to add a nice finish. So I'm just taking, this is a Real Techniques brush I've had for, I don't know, eons. I'm just going to kind of work this into my brush, get it nice and blended up in the bristles like so from the back of my hand. And let's try to see if we can marry, I don't know. I feel like that just took everything off. What? Why? Try it right here because I always put highlighter. Although this might be unwise to do while I need Botox to the degree that I currently need it. I don't know. This product is just, I have not figured out how to make the best use of this. I feel like it did almost nothing, and I don't think the color's right. And it did not, it seems to have lifted off my makeup that I had right there, which is super annoying because I've been blending this for like 30 minutes. I don't know. We're just gonna have to keep it pushing, baby. Let's do blush layer number 1. I'm gonna take Not Too Much from Patrick Ta. This is kind of my favorite blush in the world right now. I've been using it ever since he launched these new colors. I think that was back in March, maybe. I'm trying not to pull for it every single time I do my makeup, but it's difficult not to because this is typically like all my life what I have enjoyed in a blush. So like when the bright blush moment has been going on, sometimes it looks really pretty, but sometimes it like everyone is obsessed with Sabrina Carpenter's makeup, for example, and I get it. She's a beautiful girl. Maybe this is just lost on me, but there's something about kind of the darker brown lip liner with the bright baby pink blush that is not giving it to me. I don't know what it is. And I feel like sometimes when you do those more bright pink blushes, it can be, and listen, for me to say something is too much, that don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it's too much makeup because like, I don't know if there ever is, but I don't know if it's lending itself. I don't think it's lending itself. So anyway, all that being said, let's apply some of this blush for blush layer numero uno. And I'm going to apply that using my A507 from BK Beauty. You guys know I love the BK Beauty brushes. I'm going to focus this mostly on like the back, very back area of my cheeks. And should you be a blush girly, I have said many times that the BK Beauty A507 from, especially if you're a cream blush girly, oh my gosh, this is like the best cream blush there ever was. Cream, I can never say these words, cream blush brush. It just like fits like right here, like a glove. It's wild. I always like to take my blush, and I do this with every blush step because we're probably gonna have like 2 or 3 more. I always take it, and I always have, you know, a little on my forehead. Usually I'll run a little bit under my eye, through my crease, just to kind of tie the tones in. I do the same thing with bronzer. That way things don't look so disjointed. And I think maybe that's what super bright baby pink blush can do if it's not paired with the right look. It looks very disjointed to me. Clean up, taking that same foundation brush, nothing excess on it, just whatever's left. There is something about this stage in my makeup process. Every single time my face gets so itchy. It's the weirdest thing. We're gonna leave it alone for now, and we're gonna take the Prisme Libre from Nikki. I almost said this is from Nikki La Rose because she's the one who got me on it. This is from Givenchy, but I am gonna take Nikki La Rose's powder brush. This is the N14. I use it every single time doing my makeup. Before I do highlighter on my second coat of blush, I'm going to apply some Fix Plus. You guys see how low I'm running on this? Like, I think I have bought 170 Fix Pluses over the past 10 years. I try other setting sprays. I try other makeup fixing sprays. Nothing compares. Unless you guys have another one I should try. Like, I heard the Cali Ray one's really good. I do have the Charlotte Tilbury, but I feel like this is like my last setting spray, my setting, I want my makeup to last spray, I don't feel like it's hydrating enough. Like this is just perfect. And in terms of wetting your eyeshadows and making them more metallic, I don't think anyone does it as well as Fix Plus. So I'm going to slightly douse myself. I'm going to take Stan, the fan, and go ahead and speed this process up. I'm going to go ahead and take the powder version of our blush, that makeup, almost said Makeup by Mario, the Patrick Ta one. We just want to kind of give a little zhuzh. I kind of like take it over my brows a little bit, like with whatever is left over on the brush. Again, it's more or less because I just want to make sure everything is blending in together and nice and smooth and seamless, and you have touches of all the different shades, like between your contour, your bronzer, your highlighter, your blush. You don't want them just, like I said, sitting alone by themselves, you know, cheese stands alone style on your cheek. You want to see kind of hints of it throughout the entire face. I know this sounds weird, but I also make it a point to like take this blush almost into my hair. Like I'm literally rubbing it in my hairline, because definitely with bronzer and my forehead being so small, if I don't like make sure to really blend it out in this area, it can look just weird. Like it's floating on my face and not a part of it. So I have to always take things just into my hairline. Now this is kind of the main reason I started doing my makeup the way that I do it, so that I can put my highlighter everywhere and it just blends in a little better instead of putting it on last, which I used to do. And you kind of got to be careful of the brows, and you got to be careful of the eyeshadow. If I do it first, I feel like other things will go on top of it. Like my brow makeup's going to go on top of it. We'll probably have another layer of blush. Like there'll be more things added. This helps it look a little bit more as if the glow is coming from within my skin instead of sitting on top of it, which I feel like a powder highlighter is want to do. I'm just going to use the Dior Backstage. I even grabbed another one. It's in my little basket right here. I just never want to use it. Every time I pull this out, I have to use it. I love it. So we're going to focus most of this going around the eye and like up into the brow. So it's like, whoop, because that's an area I like to highlight. Not so much right now, again, not when I need Botox the way that I do, but when my forehead is smooth and lineless and plastic looking, it's especially pretty. I'm gonna do my brows off camera, and then we will start the eye makeup look, and we're done, if you can believe it. I know we've been here forever already though, so maybe you very well can believe it. So for the majority of the look today, I'll be pulling colors from the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. We're just gonna do kind of a smattering of a transition shade, a darker shade, but the main shade that I'm wanting to use this palette for is this. It's a very, like when you look at it in the pan, it almost looks like just a straight up brick red, but done in such a way that it's neutral. So really all you need to achieve this exact look is a color like this. Whatever else is going on in your upper crease, your outer corner, doesn't really matter. Now we're gonna be putting kind of a blue, chromey, silver type of shadow all over the lid. And I like the kind of warmth of this juxtaposed with the cool of the blue. It just, I don't know, it does a little something for me. So all that being said, if you do not have this palette, do not fret. You just need a color similar to this. We're also going to be taking the Danessa Myricks Lightwork palette. I have not used this on camera yet. I have played with it off camera quite a bit. And we're going to be using this shade right here. It is a taupey, like it reminds me of a mix of satin taupe from MAC with Lumi pigment from Sugar Pill. So you just need something blue and sparkly. Whatever you have will work, I promise. There is no elegant way for me to do this on camera, so I'm not going to, but I just want to offer you guys a fun tip. If you are like me and when you curl your eyelashes, you can see this, like your upper tight line, I would encourage you to do this first. Anytime I do all my eyeshadow and then go in and tight line, When I lift my, this looks so just horrific on camera, I'm sorry. When I lift this up to try to get up in here to do this liner, it will inevitably smudge, move. It just messes everything up. It took me way too long to figure out that I need to do this first. So I am gonna do that really quickly off camera because like I said, it's not pleasant to look at. So the first thing I'm gonna do, this is gonna sound kind of weird, but stay with me, is I'm gonna take MAC Painterly Paint Pot. You can use whatever, but for me, something about this lower lash line, if I don't come at it with everything I have, it will basically just disappear. And for this look in particular, I really do want a nice, smoky, blown out, intense kind of color situation down here because when you look at me straight on, you can't see my lid. But when I blink, when I look around, you can. So basically, when you're looking at me when I do this look, you know, you'll probably be able to see a lot of the blue right here, but you won't see so much of the red and the brown, which again, we want that color combination. So making sure that down here is done well will lend itself to that effect when you have hooded eyes. If you have hooded eyes, it basically means when you're looking at someone, they can't see your lid space for the most part. Your hoods are covering it. So a good way to be able to bring color and add kind of the fun of your look to your face in a way that's easily apparent and visible when you have hooded eyes is to focus a little bit more on that lower lash line. And for some reason, if I do not reprime my lower lash line, it will not happen. I used to use the Urban Decay Primer Potion for this step. That would also work really well. Either one is fine. This is just what I currently have. Another thing I really like about doing my makeup in this order, which is face first, used to be the bane of my existence. I would never consider it. Again, hooded eyes. It's very important to connect correctly this lower lash line with the outer corner. It really does define and accentuate your eyes in such a beautiful way. And for some reason, you know, I can make it work when I do my eyes first, but I just think it is so much easier now. If you start, I'm almost going to do this backwards. I will put a transition color in, but I'm going to go backwards and work from the bottom up. I need to make a whole video on this technique, but this is essentially how it works. First thing I want to do is take my bronzer. Again, we're going to take that Makeup by Mario one, and I'm going to take the Angie Hot and Flashy 8503. I love all these BK Beauty brushes, but I've recently started using this one more often for my crease work, and there is something about this brush that is like a magic wand. It buffs and blends, and I'm just trying to tell you, it changed your life. I'm going to take this brush to do this, as well as this brush we're going to use about 50 times in this look. It's another BK Beauty. It's the N12. This is like, of all the brushes I've picked up from BK Beauty this year, which was, I think, 2 kits. That's it. Felt like so much more to me for some reason. This one is one of my favorites. I've never used a smudgy lower lash line brush that works this well. And like I said before, when you have hooded eyes, it tends to be something that I like to accentuate and focus as lower lash line. And this one just makes the job incredibly easy. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take the smudgy brush and our bronzer, and we're going to go ahead and start applying this to the lower lash line. We're going to be building a lot of color, so don't worry if this is not crazy impactful. What it's acting as is just a transition for everything else we will be doing. Let me zoom you in. Is that too much? It's very light, like I said, but then we're going to go ahead and take our more fluffy brush, the same bronzer, and we're just going to start working this where we would apply a typical transition color. So that's outer corner for me, the majority of it. Hang out here for a minute, work our way up and over. So we just want to go in with something a little darker. It doesn't matter what, but for the sake of the video, I'm probably going to do like this and this, just something to add a hair more dimension. And to apply that, I'll be taking the N13 from BK Beauty and Nikki La Ross. And you just want to start this like right here in the outer corner. Try to get it as close to your lash line as you can and start bringing it in. I love this brush because it just fits like such a dream, and it has the perfect amount of precision yet fluffiness. Like it's a workhorse. It'll do literally everything you want. We're gonna go ahead and take the same deeper shades that we chose for this outer crease area, and we're gonna start working on connecting them to our outer corner. Now we're gonna go in with the star, the co-star of the show, which is our red shade. Be aggressive with this, okay? Because we are gonna even deepen it up a hair more with a contrasting color, so something a little bit more cool, a little bit darker to add that depth and dimension, but we don't wanna lose the red. That's really what's gonna help the blue sing later on. I'm gonna start backwards. Notice I'm winging this out like this. So what I do is I bring this out, but because I'm starting at the bottom, it's still hugging my eye the way that I want to. We're still accentuating. We're not creating a whole new eye shape. We're just taking what we already have, following the guide and bringing it out a hair more. I'm gonna mix the black and the brown together, and I'm just gonna start working that ever so slightly a little bit lower in the crease. What I want you to focus on now is just getting this first bit of color down in terms of your crease and outer crease work, because what I have discovered is you kind of got to put everything down, put the lashes on, and then step back and kind of feather and add. Like, there's something about the finishing touch step that I don't think we talk about enough in makeup, and that is something that doing my makeup in this order, foundation first, eyes last, has really given me the opportunity to get a little better at. Because when you do your eyes first, same thing with eyebrows, I feel like you took forever to do them, when sometimes it's like you need to pull back, finish the look, and then come in and tweak where it needs to be tweaked. So mostly we're laying down kind of the framework, and you can see I'm going pretty dark here and I'm flicking it out pretty far. And you might feel the need to go back in with, this is the same brush that we've been using all underneath the lash line, and the last color we used was that red shade. So there's still some on the brush, and we're just gonna feather these shades together ever so slightly. And you know, you kind of go in. I tend to keep my brushes like in my hands. They don't even get put down because I'm gonna like take and add and schmutz and add. It's just kind of a process. But this brush, like there is no harsh line it cannot blend. It is just the destroyer of the harsh line. It's kind of amazing. So now we're gonna go in with our blue shade. Again, this one is the shade Inspiring in the Danessa Myricks palette. Again, we're just looking for reflective, cool toned. I don't know if there's a warm blue on planet Earth. For that, I'm gonna take the A505 brush from BK Beauty and Angie, Hot and Flashy. This brush is so great for this type of work. Number one, it's almost like a finger with how flat and stiff it's able to get, but it has this really great kind of tapered point that allows getting into these inner corners so easy. And I feel like with BK Beauty's brushes, that's what they did such a great job with, is making sure that the shape of the brushes, like the tips of all your brushes for the most part, are designed to fit in tiny little places, and that detail work really does make a difference. Oh, this color's so pretty. Oh, but usually I would have to like wet my brush to get a color like this, to A, to stick to the brush, but B, to be this pigmented on the first go. But something about this brush, the way they designed it, it picks this color up, clings onto it so it's not gonna fall all over your face, and then it applies it absolutely beautifully. And I don't know if you can tell, so you apply in this way, but you also kind of want to apply this way. Like whatever you have left over after you do this motion right here, you might as well just kind of go in and lightly sweep it up just to give it a little more appearance, make it a little more apparent. Like I said, if you have hooded eyes when your eyes are open. You want to work this in a little bit. You definitely want them to meet in the middle. So obviously don't bring it all the way in, but you want there to be a gradient. You don't want to go straight from this blue to this dark brown, like kind of black out in the corner. You want it to be blue, red, brown. That's kind of what we're going for. So this is old school. This is the Viseart Grande Pro Volume 2. It just has a bunch of shimmers in it. And I want to take this color right here. It's just a little bit of like a frosty pale blue. This is not crucial. You can do whatever you want at this point. If you have the Lumi pigment from Sugar Pill, that would be a wonderful replacement for this eyeshadow. Really just what you're looking for is a little bit of a lighter color blue, because we just want to pop it in here to add a little bit more dimension, but it's not going to like ruin your look. You don't got to throw it out, the whole look, if you don't have this particular color. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just apply it kind of like around my eye area, not directly like in my inner tear duct, but just a little something to create a little bit more of that contrast we're looking for. I'm going to turn the camera off and do lashes, liner, mascara, all that good stuff. And then I'll show you how to kind of do the finishing touches here. Because like I said, we don't want to spend all day just pittering away trying to get these colors even and laid down just right, because we need to think about the makeup as it's actually going to be seen on our faces. Like if you're taking photos for Instagram or something, you can sit there. You know, if you're trying to grow your makeup account, that makes sense to sit there and like just lose your mind over precision. But for every day, like, come on. We ain't got time for that. So I'm going to do that off camera. I'll come back and we'll finish this look. I am so upset. When I went to go do my liner on this eye, I stabbed myself right in my cornea with my liquid eyeliner pen. It ran all over my face. Now this eye is watering profusely. I need to leave it alone for a minute, and I don't want to give up on this video. We're going to finish this. So let's quickly do some touch-up work on this eye, and then we'll do lips, and God willing, we'll be done. I feel like I've been here for hours. I'm still trying to get used to this setup. So essentially what we want to do, and this is kind of the trick, and like I said, I'll do a whole tutorial on this technique. I'm calling it like reverse eyeshadow placement. TM, no one take it. You're going to look in a mirror straight on, and you just want to observe what needs what. Bearing in mind, again, like when we tend to do our eyeshadow, we'll be like up in this some bitch, you know what I mean? Bearing in mind that you just need to look good to an extent, you know, like there's a limit to how finessed outside of doing something for production you're going to get this. So when I look straight on, first thing I notice is I want some more definition closer to my lash line, because we have this warm red color blown out, but I think it looks like it needs to be ground. Actually, don't let me lie, there is a whole other step. I'm just gonna do it to this eye for now, because this one, like I said, I need to leave it alone. We're gonna take the Costa Riche eyeshadow, no, eyeliner. Lord, y'all, it's all falling apart. We came so far. We're gonna take this and put this in our waterline. It is a warm, dark brown. It's just gonna bring, like I said, more of that warmth to our eye, which will lend itself again nicely to kind of helping our blue color pop. You could take this if you really wanted to. You could take your blue shadow all like under here, like the Iggyosal. I can never say that correctly. You could do that. I just don't think that looks good on me. I want to figure it out, but it doesn't look good on me personally. So I tend not to take shimmers like in this immediate area. I really need the structure of mattes. I'm just gonna take a really tiny precision brush. This is the Morphe and Ariel A18. And while I'm looking in the mirror, this is very difficult to like look in the camera but not put this too close. Essentially what I want to do is look in the mirror, and I want to connect a little bit of this darkness with the outer corner really close to this lash line. I'm not taking it any further. It's about halfway, and then kind of flicking up just to bring a little bit of lift. And then if you feel like your line's a little harsh, you can always go in and just For lips, I'm gonna do the Makeup Forever color pencil in Anywhere Caffeine. We're gonna fill that bad boy in with Honey Love from MAC So OG. When's the last time you saw someone use this on YouTube? I have to know. And we're gonna gloss it up with Rosewood Glow from Makeup by Mari. All right, guys, that is the end of this makeup look. It went off the rails towards the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Everything I mentioned will be linked down below. I have lots of stuff coming. I got the setup going. Hopefully today. I'll find out when I edit. And I'm looking forward to getting back to regular content. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.